Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, The Grease Trap. Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, Grease Trap.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the fucking greasy, trappy motherfucking Grease Trap. How you doing?
Grease.
Paul,
Fry some shit.
Paul just showed me a badass music video. I wish we could play it for you guys. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to do that shit, but what's it called? Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer? Fucking stop motion shit from the 80s. One of the earlier MTV videos, apparently. Fucking Paul just showed it to me. First time I'd ever seen the video. First time I'd ever really heard the fucking song. I mean, I might have heard it somewhere along the way, but
it's really strange to me that you went through, because like that song is popular to this day, kind of like right. It's one of those 80s songs that survived the 80s, and like
yeah.
And that video is like,
with the video as good as it is, and the song. I mean, I like the song. I don't know how much it's going to resonate with me. I mean, I need to listen to it a few more times before I'd really. But like, I'm definitely going to see it more because I want to watch that video again. But I don't know. I guess sometimes like little things in pop culture just manage to elude you, no matter how fucking.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird because we didn't grow up that far apart. You know what I mean? How much younger are you? You're 6 or 8 years younger than me.
5,
even less. Yeah. How you skipped Sledgehammer, I'll never know. Even fucking Scotty's seen Sledgehammer. I don't know if he's seen the video, but he's heard the fucking song.
He grew up in the same household as me. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I will say this, dude. I didn't hear it because of mom or anything like that, or dad.
Well, I know mom didn't listen to it because I remember.
No, she didn't like that kind of shit.
All the 80s shit I heard from her, she was more like into like Foreigner and the Scorpions and AC/DC.
Be right there.
She's like more of that like super anthemic kind of shit, and
Yeah, like arena rock was popular in the 80s.
That was her thing.
Yeah.
I mainly just learned about all this shit.
Whatever.
I just like. I think, growing up, I used to hate 80s music. I fucking hate these. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's awful. I hate it.
Well, that's what our mom listened to, so it was kind of like. Fuck the 80s,
Yeah, and then I got onto YouTube, and YouTube was just like, okay, I can listen to all these old songs now.
Oh, there goes Scott.
Well, there he goes already.
It's good to know. I'm telling you, dude, like, I feel kind of like I lucked out when it comes to how I was brought up when it comes to music and shit, because I was exposed to a fuck ton of different eras and genres of music. My mom listened to a lot of Motown. My aunt was big into jazz, and so I got a lot of jazz when I was really young. My parents were generalists, so they listened to all the music of their childhood, starting in the 50s through the 60s, 70s, and then they were really into like the new shit in the 80s because they were in their 20s. You know what I mean? They were like. 25, 26, 27 during the 80s. They were like fucking all into. So I listened to all the Scorpions and the Quiet Riot and all that shit too. But they listened to pop as well and disco. Yeah. So I have
I had a way more a limited thing because I had my mom who pretty much listened exclusively to like butt rock and anthem rock and shit like that from the 80s and early 90s. And still listens to that like. She's super fucking excited that AC/DC put out a new album right now. Like, I would not know AC/DC had put out a new album if not for her being like, AC/DC!
Right.
But she's still listening to that shit. And that's what she listens to. And that's what I got exposed to from her. And then my dad was pretty much like almost never listened to music recreationally. Like,
just
was not really a big
guy.
Music lover. And when he did, like, he listened to like the Eagles and Frank Sinatra, and that was pretty much it. So there was like I wasn't like, at least as far as being through my parents is concerned, I wasn't exposed to much.
Most of it honestly is throwaway shit. Like, okay, I'll groove to a song or whatever. I like this little song, but it's not a great song. But like, there's some gems out there that I was exposed to that not a lot of people know about, like that. Fucking can't remember. I can never remember the name of the band that does it, but that In the Year 2525 song. My mom.
Yeah, ever since you played that for us that one time, you played it right. You played Age of Aquarius, and then you played that.
Yeah.
to kind of illustrate these two very different attitudes about the future and all this other stuff.
Well, those two songs were on repeat. Basically, those are my mom's two favorite songs ever. So the juxtaposition of those two types of song was so like I got it when I was little. You know, I could hear the difference when I was little, and then I think that's why I love so many different types of music, even to this day. I went through a real curmudgeonly period where I was like, modern music fucking sucks, but I'm out of there now. I've found a few artists that I can vibe with now, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I found some that I can tolerate, I guess. But no, there was the year 2525 song I fucking have. I added that to like my rotation of fucking music since you showed that to us, because that's a cool song.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know about that song, they should fucking check that out, because it is more obscure. Like I haven't heard that song anywhere else. It'd be cool to fucking see it like in a movie or something, but.
I mean, the song itself is such a focal point that I don't know how you'd use it in a movie. I guess you could use it as the intro to a movie that starts with the Big Bang or something. You know what I mean? And like, have it be the soundtrack to this rapid fire creation of man and the rise of civilization or whatever. If you wanted to do that, kind of like that's what fucking Jodorowsky wanted to do with Dune. He wanted to start played
that at the same time.
He wanted to start Dune with the Big Bang and then show these rapid fire clips of this journey across the universe as the planets coalesce. Show a
but he wanted to do it all in one continuous shot.
Right.
And back in the fucking 70s. So, I mean, that would have been a crazy fucking shot for that time. It's crazy because he had all the logistics out of like how he was going to do it. Like he knew how it was going to be shot.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, wow, that's so impressive. But then no one fucking greenlit the motherfucking movie. So.
I've heard it described as the most ambitious practical shot ever considered.
Right.
It obviously was never filmed, but
they did later use it in that movie. I think Contact, they used it. They just ripped it off.
But I mean,
they just used computer,
CGI.
so it wasn't. Yeah, it was all CG. So whatever. That's not.
You can do whatever the fuck you want with CG. You're talking practical.
Yeah. He was going to shoot. He was going to do a practical effect shot of the Big Bang backing out through time and space. It's like, what the fuck, man? That's crazy stuff.
He was gonna zoom in on the planet and then zoom in to a woman's stomach and show a sperm going into an egg and then have the baby form and then show the birth and growth of the baby and then zoom back out to the city and watch the city change from 1920s to 1950s to 2080s to fucking, and then he was going to zoom back out and watch humanity escape the planet and move to the fucking different other planets that are involved in fucking Dune.
Yeah. All in one continuous fucking shot that he apparently had it planned out how to shoot.
Yep, and then zoom in on Caladan.
I want to read this fucking plan as to how he planned to get that shot done, because I imagine it's got to be the most insanely elaborate fucking opening. The ambition that he had for that.
The little bit that he's talked about it, he talked about having a roller coaster track, basically a small roller coaster track built for a camera that would go through different tunnels and different rooms, all with perspective tricks and shit.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
So it would have different areas built in it for the camera to focus in on, and it would move it, at the times it needed to focus in the room where it needed to focus on, and then it would continue down the track and the zoom effect would continue. I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's actually a possible shot to have done, but he had a plan for it.
Everyone who's looked, they said everyone who looked at it said it was fucking possible, but probably also prohibitively costly to do, I'd imagine.
Impractical, probably, I would have guessed.
An impractical practical effect. But you know what? That's what fucking the Jodorowskis of the world are for. We just needed to create, in a proper world, they would have been given the money and resources to do what they needed to do. But
the sad thing is that those fucking high budget, super impractical to shoot practical effects are still the best looking shit that you can see on film.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, look, it is like a constant source for me of just sorrow, I guess, that when I look at an effect shot done in a movie today and then it looks reminiscent of something that I've seen 40 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it looked better then. That's
I'm
so
telling
depressing to me.
I'll give props to one fucking franchise, because when it comes to the effect shots in their fucking movies, it's always good. The Marvel films, particularly the Avengers films, have this really pleasing blend of over the top CGI and actual practical actors being shot. You know what I mean? The way that they throw it together looks great. It looks great.
Well,
but
they do
still,
it looks, because it looks like it's coming right out of the pages of a fucking comic book.
Right.
But it also looks kind of like it's like they really did a good job of translating that into reality.
But you look at the budget that they had for that, and the processes that they invented for that. And most movies don't do that. Most movies shoot the practical shit, have the actors react, usually to some dude in a green morph suit or whatever, and then they send it off to the fucking effects people, and they do, there's no real blend of it.
I think about Phantasm, 1979. I forget the guy who directed that. I think it's Don Coscarelli.
Yeah.
The guy who directed. I don't know if you're a big fan of Phantasm, but Phantasm is a super low budget movie.
Yeah,
super fucking low budget, especially the first one.
The first one, especially, yeah. They got some money for two, but it stayed really low budget and practical throughout 1, 2, and 3.
Right. So the budget was higher for 2, but it was still a pretty low fucking budget. But he did get more money, and I think that guy has directed all of those movies. But the thing is, I think the last Phantasm movie he made was only like a few years back.
Yeah, there's like 13 of them, I think.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of these fucking movies. I don't know if there's quite 13, but there's a lot. I think there's, I don't know. I don't even want to fucking throw a number out there. But if you look at some of the later ones he shot, now that like CG is a thing, he's doing the same low budget movies, but he's doing it like low budget CG instead of low budget practical.
Yeah.
And it looks so much fucking worse. It looks so much worse. Like he was so much, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy to me that how much has been sacrificed to that shit. I guess the last one the last Phantasm movie that was shot was Phantasm Ravager in 2016. And like, if you look at the special effects in that, they're just so corny. It's so fucking fake. It looks like goddamn.
Because practical effects, no matter how low budget they are, appear real, and cheaply done CGI effects just look like cheaply done CGI effects. Like there's no way to dress them up. So it's like, oh, we can save all this money. So, Phantasm, it made in, whenever it was made in 1980 or whatever.
79.
79. The budget for that was $200,000, but they were forced to use that budget, a lot of it, to make the practical effects look, plausible. But when you take that out, and it's like, okay, we're just going to make some fucking CGI schlock. Of course, you're going to look at it and ultimately say, oh, well, this doesn't really look that great. But they know that, but they're just hoping you're just going to overlook it.
For me, when I think practical effects, the holy grail for me is Aliens.
Yeah, that's a great one.
The sweeping, like there's nothing done with computers in that. It is all hand drawn. Like the lightning effects and stuff are all hand drawn and fucking drawn over the fucking shit. It's all animation and practical effects. Macro miniatures, I think is what they used to call them. They're huge room filling fucking sets, but they're meant to represent, this colossal fucking nuclear facility on the face of the planet, right? Yeah. And so he did like just some of the shots in that people take for granted that are actual sets are macro miniature sets. Like there's this whole scene where they first land on the planet, or not when they first land on the planet, when you get the first look at the planet before the aliens have attacked, where these futuristic trucks are pulling into futuristic depots and all of that shit, and it's just assumed. When I was a kid, I looked at that and I was like, man, they built all these crazy trucks and pulled them in. Those are all little like RC cars and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that movie, it's just, along with the best, I think personally, you might disagree, the best practical villain character that's non-human in a movie ever, with the alien queen.
I would say, as far as I'm concerned, the queen, she's up there. Pumpkinhead, designed by the same people, is up there. I like how you can see his full body. The Thing,
of course, yeah.
Carpenter stuff. That's obviously. You can't even have this conversation without bringing that up. But those are Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, as far as monsters goes, those are the top 3, and Pumpkinhead is way underrated. I mean, I'm gonna fucking, to my dying breath, spread the word that Pumpkinhead is a fucking underrated goddamn movie.
I've been doing that shit since I was a fucking kid. I saw Pumpkinhead when I was a child, and it scared the fucking shit out of me, and I kept watching it. And then it got to a point where none of my friends had even heard of it, because it was, at the time, it wasn't a big movie. Like, it just wasn't. Like, Pumpkinhead has like a cult following now, and it's probably more well known now than it ever was when it was an actual new movie. You know what I mean?
I feel like the word needs to be spread on it. Like, I just feel like there's certain movies that, to me, and I'm not saying that a movie that has this vibe automatically is good or anything, but a lot of them are. There's certain movies that almost feel like they weren't made to me. Like, it just feels like I can't imagine this being a set, because the magic is just so there.
Yeah.
That it just feels like this is a world that exists somehow, like that somehow has been delivered to me. You know, and I feel that way about like Conan the Barbarian. I feel that way, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it, which should like be distracting, but it's not.
Yeah,
at least not for me. Because he totally just disappears into that Conan role. Like, I've never seen him do it in anything else. Maybe the Terminator.
I mean, just talk about like having that's the case, having the really good actors, having a really good atmosphere. I mean, Conan just feels like that because everything about the film has that sort of nihilistic feeling. John Milius, the people involved, the script and everything, it just comes down to so many small decisions leading to the totality of, like, you feel when you watch that movie, like, man, this world exists. The people brought this world to life.
I think a movie that's like made with a certain level of artistry, you like lose even, like, you can't even conceive of the creative process behind it anymore. It like becomes kind of like every decision was just made right on this. And I feel like Pumpkinhead like has that, because it feels like a fucking like folklore, and it's not like they made the story up, but it feels old, and it feels like something that's like an old story that's like been passed down from generations and shit.
Yeah. And the central performance too, Lance Henriksen in the film, you can't undercut that, because if that had been shitty, I mean, he just really does a great job of taking this pretty implausible fucking story and playing it emotionally vulnerable and believable all the way through. So, yeah, no, Pumpkinhead, definitely an underrated gem as far as horror movies and practical effects magic goes.
As far as that effect, I mean, getting back to the effects, though, I mean, like, the Pumpkinhead effect is fucking great. And that's another movie that was like pretty low budget, but they had one special effect that they really fucking hyper focused on, and that was Pumpkinhead's got to look cool. He's got to look real, and he fucking does. You know,
another movie that doesn't get enough fucking props for that practical shit.
What's that?
In the Mouth of Madness. That movie had some great fucking practical effects. Little touches too. You remember, like, there's that one point where the girl turns on him and throws him out of the room and then slams the door, and he looks, and underneath the door are those like little tentacles, and they slither back under to where she is and shit. Little shit like that to building the full Hobbs End horror in the fucking greenhouse, and you get to see it with its tentacle arms and its shit. Remember that point where she goes and hugs Sutter Kane, and it zooms around to the back, and the entire back of him is a demon. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's moving on its own. So, like, that movie, also a very underrated fucking horror movie from the 90s that used basically like, nothing but practical.
91, 92, something like that.
Early 90s. It actually led into a really fertile little 2-movie phase with what's his name, Sam Neill.
Yeah, Sam Neill,
because he
was great in that movie, by the way.
He did it was actually a really fertile like 3-movie phase, because he did fucking Jurassic Park, then he did In the Mouth of Madness, and then he did fucking, oh my god, what's it called, Event Horizon. All three. All 3 fucking amazing movies. Event Horizon, another good example of a really practical movie.
Yeah, I love Event Horizon. Haven't seen that one in a fucking while. I know I wish they would do an unrated cut of that fucking puts all the gore back in, because that was one of the big things, is that a lot of the gore was cut out of that.
It's just not popular enough for them to fucking justify the money it would take to do a recut and all that shit. I bet they've got it all. Like, if people fucking appreciated the movie, we'd get it. But
there's speculation that a lot of that film was destroyed by the studio. I mean, who knows the truth? But I mean, Event Horizon. If they could do it like an unrated version or whatever, that would be amazing. Because that movie, like, I'm sure, I know you guys have both seen it, but if you haven't seen the movie, there's a lot of these like little flash, like kind of like, oh, this is what happened on the ship. But a lot of that stuff was stuff they had filmed in greater detail.
Yeah,
but they cut a lot of it out so they could get basically an R rating, because it was going to get NC-17 almost certainly. The amount of violence, and that's rare for like an American film, to get NC-17 if it's not sexual. Like over here, it tends to be, oh my god, there's too much sex. That's why it's going to get that rating. Violence usually not the problem. Event Horizon, have that whole satanic bent, and is just one of those uncomfortably gory films. Like, it really is. Like, there's films that are way gorier, but not in that visceral way that film really strikes in my mind. Like, that movie to me, I'm like, whoa. Like, and they have so many scenes where it's like Sam Neill does a terrific job where it's like he'll see his eyes being pulled out or something, like as they'll doing some crazy form of human mutilation, and it'll snap back to reality. It's just, if they could have done that a little bit, I would say more. If they could have showed that what their real vision was, I think it'd be a movie that'd be talked about even more.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I wouldn't say Event Horizon's obscure, but it's not spoken of. I mean, like, it has its problems. It's not a perfect fucking movie, but it's got a lot going for it.
That movie has studio interference written all over it.
If you want a Sam Neill movie that I still think qualifies as obscure, even though it's garnered itself on a little bit of a cult following, it has to be In the Mouth. Like that, and that's a John Carpenter movie too, which is like even stranger to me that it wasn't picked up on by people.
Well, it was a flop at the time. I mean, which I don't understand, because it's fucking awesome. I mean, it's John Carpenter's fucking crazy fucking special effects. They're awesome. I guess like horror was as a genre wasn't doing really all that great in the early 90s though.
No.
But man, I don't know. Fuck, it was fucking awesome. I mean, I didn't see that movie until just like a year or two ago. And I was like, fuck, how did I miss this? And it's because, there's not many people talk about it. It took a while to even fucking hear about the damn thing. In fact, it wasn't until I got a little bit more heavily into John Carpenter and started looking through his like back catalog of shit. And I'm just like, what else has this dude made? I've liked everything I've seen that I know of. I'm like, the dude did Halloween. The dude did They Live. I mean, like he did the fucking Escape from New York movie. What else has motherfucker made? And then I found that. I'm like, what's this? And then it's like, oh, it's pretty well rated. I mean, let's check this one out. Fuck, that's amazing. This might be my favorite movie I've seen of his yet. Fuck.
Yeah.
It took me till my fucking 30s to see the goddamn thing.
Look at this shit, dude. I love this shot in the mouth. It's such a quick little jokey kind of shot. And at some point,
overwhelming amount of blue in that fucking.
Well, that's the point. Too. That's the point. Like he falls asleep on the bus, and he starts having a dream, and the main antagonist, Sutter Kane, is sitting next to him in the dream, and he leans over and he whispers to him, "Did I ever tell you that my favorite color is blue?" And then he wakes up and everything in the world is blue. You know what I mean? And they obviously put a blue filter over the camera, but they also created an entire set here. They made a wig for that old lady that's powder blue. You know what I mean? It's just...
Even the ray is blue.
Even the ray is blue. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great movie. I mean, like, obviously just like, sort of like one of the things I love about that movie that I mean, I guess it's not the only movie to do it. Like, it's actually kind of common to try to like do this, like, let's blur the line between fantasy and reality as much as possible so that no one knows what's really happening.
Right.
And but I think that In the Mouth of Madness does it. I mean, it's got to be like, if not the best, then it's up there. I mean, it might be the best.
It's got one of the ballsiest endings in a film ever.
Oh my God, dude. So many times me and Chelsea will watch a movie, especially then since you put it in our heads to like be like critical of endings.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I hate endings. Like, what the fuck is Paul talking about? Psycho, such stupid fat motherfucker, don't know shit. And then ever since then, I'll be like watching movies like, yeah, he's right. Most endings do suck. And then, but this movie, I remember watching it, and Chelsea was like, "That's how you end a movie." I'm like, "You damn right, baby."
Yep.
That's how you do it. That's how the fuck you do it.
It doesn't fuck around. It doesn't namby-pamby its way through some kind of ham-fisted little like segue at the end where everything wraps up in a nice little bow for everybody. It just decides it wants to show you something, and it shows it to you, and it's over, and you get it. It's not deep. It's not overly fucking... It's not a think piece. It's like, this happened. Okay, fine. Now when you leave the theater, the world will have gone insane. That's the idea that we're putting in your head. You were sitting here. You're part of this. You're infected with this. Goodbye.
Yep.
It's like, yes.
And I mean, you can't underestimate like Sam Neill. I mean, like, I don't want to give it away, but his laugh, and I don't.
You give it away. Fuck them. It's fucking ancient. They can suck a dick.
Ancient.
I'm so sick of tiptoeing around people to talk about goddamn fucking movies, dude.
It's ancient, but it's so fucking obscure, though. So, like...
It doesn't ruin the movie to talk about the goddamn end.
It kind of does. I mean, it's a fucking crazy twist ending. I mean, I don't know if it's a twist,
but
really.
It's
nuts.
You kind of see it coming from the start. But that's the great thing about it.
It is built up throughout the entire... Dude... I was fucking okay, well, that's a whole other topic, but sometimes movies can just like completely telegraph what they're going to do and still catch you off guard, and other times they can do their best to try to hide from you what's coming, and you fucking see it coming a mile away. But
yeah,
with that one, I mean, I guess saw that I guess it was kind of built up the entire movie for something like that to happen, but it still fucking shocked me.
Well,
I think what shocked me more than what they did was the reaction to it.
What was shocking about it was that it was like a movie actually had the balls to end in a way that wasn't happy, didn't put a bow on things. It's like so many movies try that. So many movies can't. Like, I'm trying to think of movies that have a really good ending. Okay. Right. The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't ham-fist it. The whole ending is building up to the twist. You get the twist. You get a little taste of the fucking twist, and then it's over, right?
Yep.
It doesn't fuck around. The Others is another good example of a movie that ends on a twist. Boom. Yada bomb. It's a ballsy twist, too. And it's a twist that the movie has been building to. See, there's something to be said for that. A lot of movies that have the balls to build to a fucking mega premise at the end up with good endings. Isn't that shocking? A lot of movies that decide where they want to end, they decide where they're building to and then commit to it, end up having good endings. Isn't it shocking?
Another movie that has a fucking great ending, by the way?
What?
It's not a twist or anything, but a movie that has a great ending, RoboCop.
Yeah, that's true. Because it doesn't fuck around.
Yeah. RoboCop goes in there. He kills the fucking bad guy. The other guy's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Murphy." Dun 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 dun. It's like, it's not a happy ending at all. It's because the world that is horrible in that movie is still horrible. And by the way, every time I watch RoboCop, I'm like, well, we're a little closer to that. Well, we're a little closer to that. And now I'm almost like, well, we're pretty much there. Like 5 years.
All we need is the robos. Like
as soon as we got like everything, once we got RoboCop, or even just once there's robots, I mean, I guess there kind of is, but like once there's on that level, then we're there because everything else.
It's already happening in certain places, right? There are robotic policing units and shit. Like, well, they've started with like mall cops being replaced with robotic policing units and shit. I think we're about 10 years from having some shit that patrols the fucking streets and isn't human.
Yep.
So we'll see what form it takes. I don't know if it's going to look anything like we expect it to. It's more than likely going to be a drone.
Yeah.
Just for the maneuverability.
We need Ed 209. Fuck RoboCop, guys.
I mean, drones, you could probably make the argument that drones are already doing this. So, but
Ed 209 falling down those stairs was about the funniest fucking shit.
Please put down your weapon, TJ. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I love Ed 209. Every scene involving him in those movies is great. Like, they just knew that he was big, clunky, and impractical, and they made it work, you know? I love when he blows away half the boardroom. It's just wonderful. He shoots that fucking idiot in front of everybody and has to be manually shut down.
I love how after that dude is like riddled with bullets and like the Ed 209 continues to shoot after he's like laying on the table dead. Someone's like, "Get a medic!
Yeah.
Don't touch him! Let him breathe!" You know, it's like he is
Get
so
a fucking
dead.
body bag.
He is fucking dead beyond dead.
Oh,
my
dude,
friend.
you just have to love it, dude. Relentless capitalism. Even people who work for this fucking mega company are just disposable, easily killed. Doesn't matter. You know, everyone acts horrified, but it's like, oh man, this is gonna send quarterly profits through the roof. This is
Through
super
the
effective.
goddamn roof.
Well, it kind of makes sense when you see who's running the company. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, in that movie, what's the guy's name? He's not the number one in the company. It's the fucking Ronnie Cox. What's the guy's fucking name in the movie though?
Dick.
Yeah, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. The fucking villain.
Dick something or another.
Dick something or another.
Yeah. Here, I can look it up. Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
That's the villain. That's probably why I don't remember his name, because his name kind of sucks.
Oh, TJ, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why didn't your stupid fucking fat ass beat me over the head with Transmetropolitan, kidnap me, hog tie me, and force me to read it like years ago?
Dude,
you dumb fucking idiot, dude.
Paul, I told you a million times that this is like, hey, Paul, this book is like you, dude. This is like everything you're saying is in this book, man. You might want to read this book. And you're like, yeah, I'll get to it. I'll read eventually.
Jesus
You see what I'm
Christ.
fucking talking about? Like every fucking thing, all your futurist shit, but all your pessimism and all that shit is just all in there. So
He starts off as me.
I know.
He's living in the fucking woods, and he's just this big, beardy fucking guy that's given up on life and moved out of the city because he hates everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So should I give you some bad news?
What, it starts to suck eventually?
It doesn't really start to suck, but it does. Unfortunately, the artist that's like does like obviously amazing work, because the art in there is incredible.
Yeah,
is replaced by a superior artist at some point in the run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's I haven't gotten too deep. I've only done the first book.
Yeah, you gotta fucking you gotta keep reading that shit.
I haven't gotten too deep yet.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I mean, all the shit that's in there is fucking crazy. And it's like
crazy.
So much of what you talk about is in there. That's the other thing. Oh, it's crazy, Paul. It's crazy. You know what else it is? Insane. It's fucking insane.
Insane. Did you see that? It was insane.
Crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
that is the most like low tier fucking bitch commentary. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, crazy, but like, I don't know. Sometimes that's all you could fucking say about something.
Yep,
it's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy shit.
All I gotta say is, TJ, that shit is fucking insane. Also, it's pretty damn fucking crazy.
Oh, are you talking about Sky? When you were talking about the bad guy from RoboCop, were you talking about the fucking the actual thug, or were you talking about the fucking CEO?
Not Clarence character, the CEO. Well, he wasn't the CEO. Yeah. He was like the executive vice president.
Well, yeah, he was that's Dick Jones.
Yeah, Dick Jones.
Well, there's actually a lot of.
I love how he gets killed too. You're fired. Then he gets blown away.
Yep. I wish Paul Verhoeven had fucking come back for some of the sequels, although I do still love RoboCop 2 considerably. That's another goddamn underrated movie. How come RoboCop 2 gets so much shit?
I don't know, dude.
It's a fucking good goddamn movie, man. People need to
Not
stop
as good as RoboCop 3, though, TJ.
RoboCop 3 fucking sucks.
RoboCop 3 was where it was at, TJ. You know it's true.
RoboCop 3 fucking sucks dick.
That samurai battle, dude.
Dude, I was fucking so disappointed. Because they got my ass. It was like the first RoboCop movie I could go see in theaters. I fucking want to see RoboCop fight a fucking samurai, and it was the lamest goddamn fight. Probably in cinematic history. It was lamer. I think the RoboCop fight versus that samurai is actually lamer than Captain Kirk fighting that fucking Born shit in the fucking old series where they're like fighting in super slow-mo, but it's not in slow-mo. They're just literally being slow.
Damn. That's pretty harsh, TJ.
I mean, it's fucking that bad, dude.
I mean, I've seen some really bad recently. Movie fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
fucking the robot jumps at him. I mean, RoboCop looks like a total fucking chump in that entire fight.
He does the fight from his ass, dude.
Yeah, RoboCop's just sitting there on the goddamn ground. I don't know.
How does he beat the samurai again? Because that's lame. Doesn't he just shoot him?
Yeah, the samurai starts like fucking for some reason instead of killing RoboCop, which he easily could do based on what he'd already done at that point. Around. He just starts like doing this like sword shit, like whoa, and then RoboCop just like gets a gun and is like has all the time in the world to just shoot him, and then the fucking samurai dies. It's like what? Why would?
Boo!
It sucked. It was horrible.
Dude, you know what? You know what movie series has some of my favorite cinematic fights in it?
What?
The early Indiana Jones movies, dude.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Yeah, dude.
I love the fucking the like fist fight, sword fight, fucking gunfight choreography in those movies. They're uniformly good in all three of the first, like through fucking Last Crusade. And then you can just kind of throw the whole series out the window, in my opinion. But
there's only one after that.
Well, there's another one being made, is what I'm saying. I'm future proofing this episode.
Hey, TJ, by the way, that's one time when aliens showed up that the movie sucked.
Yeah. Fuck you with your dumbass alien shit.
Wait. I have a point.
No, I have a question for you.
No, fuck you, because you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Are you going to defend?
No.
Are you defending Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
No, I'm defending aliens as a fucking plot device.
Well, at least
George Lucas, sir, and Steven Spielberg have both said these are not aliens. These are interdimensional beings.
Oh, get out of fucking Dodge, dude. They were fucking aliens.
Aliens are still cool. Dude.
Aliens by any other name would smell just as shitty, dude. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, and that's a bullshit defense, dude.
Let me tell you something. If they had been aliens, that movie would have been good.
They were aliens.
Put that out there. I'll just put that out there. No, they weren't aliens. They're interdimensional
beings. Fucking aliens. There was a UFO. There was an ancient UFO that came to life and flew off at the end of the goddamn movie. Why didn't it go to a different dimension if they weren't aliens? Where did it fly to? Is it flying to another dimension?
Interdimensional.
Why did they look exactly like normal ass fucking grays, TJ?
Interdimensional beings, Paul.
They were aliens, TJ.
Interdimensional beings.
They were fucking motherfucking aliens, and you know it. And you know it sucked too. You know it sucked big, fat camel dick.
Dude, Paul, I remember being in the theater was like me and TJ and I think my old friend Matt or something, maybe like a few other people, but like I was like looking at me and TJ.
Kate Blanchett in that movie fucking terrible, by the way. Sorry.
Oh yeah, dude. Almost everyone in the movie was terrible. Like I can't think of anything that was good. But I just remember looking over at TJ when the alien scene happened, and we're both just like our mouths, just like our fucking just our gauze agape. We're just like, what is this? Like, is this really happening? Like, is this going to be like Indiana Jones wakes up like, that was crazy. Now the real adventure. Like, nope, they're doing this. They're really doing this.
Kate Blanchett was fucking horrible in that. Shia LaBeouf was wretched beyond belief.
Shia LaBeouf was intolerable in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
In those movies he is, but that one especially as like, what was it like? What's his name?
Like, Mutt?
Mutt. Yeah, that's what it was. Mutt.
And they dumped that for Junior, in the movie because.
Oof. Was there anything good about that movie?
Yeah, there actually was. When Indiana Jones is reunited with Marion Ravenwood, they had some pretty good interplay that felt good because it felt like the old stuff that they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did still have chemistry. That's true.
Marianne Ravenwood was good in the goddamn movie for what she was given, and fucking you can't take it away from him, dude. Harrison did what he could with the movie. He was Indiana Jones in the movie. I felt like I was watching Indiana Jones, and so there's that.
That's fair.
You got to give it that.
I feel like he did. I feel like he did. You know, and I'll say this: it wasn't overemphasized. Like, I'm getting too old for this shit, but they definitely did it in a smart way. It was just a problem with that movie. Was Spielberg did not have the dedication he had with the other ones. He wanted to do it all. He wanted to do
you know what the problem was?
He didn't do a lot of location stuff for that movie. There's just a number of flaws.
You know, another problem that happened with it. I mean, Spielberg is not who he was. Lucas is way fucking not who he was. And you know, Lucas fucking. I mean, Spielberg had an initial reaction when like fucking Lucas came to him and said, you know, I want to put aliens and shit in this. And Spielberg's like, that sounds fucking so stupid to me, dude. I don't think we should do that. But then fucking George Lucas kept talking it up. And eventually Spielberg was like, yeah, maybe that is a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. It was a really bad idea.
Dude, Spielberg was totally reticent in the beginning, but George Lucas just pressed the idea. And like, there was compromise on the idea because like they were going to play a way larger role. So that was
the original. So George Lucas's original idea was basically Indiana Jones versus the flying saucers and shit. Like it was gonna be like a full-on alien invasion, and Indiana Jones is fighting against aliens. Which can
I tell you what the biggest fucking sin of that movie is in my opinion, even bigger than the aliens,
the horrible CG ants,
reducing a fucking amazing scenery chewing actor like Ray Winstone to a stumbling, bumbling moron that just. The Black Star, or whatever he says over and over again. You remember, like you know who I'm talking about, right? He's the dude.
I love him. He's a great actor. Yeah.
Dude, Ray Winstone is a fucking fantastic character actor. He's got a real edge to him that could be used, and he's just wasted in this fucking movie.
He's been in a billion movies. I mean, all over the place.
He's never a leading person, or very rarely is he a leading person in the movie, but he always adds more than he subtracts to a film, except this one. They just shat all over him in this goddamn movie. They made him like a fucking monosyllabic mongoloid. I don't know what he was. He's my brain broken guy, and he did what he could with it. But I mean, why would you take such an eloquent guy with such an interesting voice and give him like gibberish to say throughout your movie and make him basically an orangutan in your film?
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? You couldn't hire like what? Dwayne Johnson wasn't available to play the fucking Mac character in this movie. You know what I mean? You couldn't have gotten some empty-headed fucking dipshit. What was fucking what's his name that played fucking that we were just talking about? Fucking the guy we were just ripping on yesterday in the fucking
I don't fucking know.
The guy in Waiting.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, was Ryan Reynolds have another commitment at the time? Yeah. Did Rob Schneider not pick up the phone? Like, what the fuck, dude? Why would you bother putting Ray Winstone in a movie like this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's a good actor. I mean, remember his fucking shit in like The Departed and shit. Fucking, he was in what else is he in? I'm trying to think of some other shit I remember him being in. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his face here. It's like one of those dudes where you fucking like see. You look at his face and you fucking recognize him. I think I saw Beowulf, but it was like I watched it very casually. And I was like not very impressed, so I think I kind of was like wandering in and out of attention to it.
Well, I mean,
who was he in Beowulf?
The dad, the father figure.
Oh, he was the father. I thought he was the. I thought he did the voice for Beowulf. Oh,
I don't think he did. I might be wrong though, dude. I've only seen Beowulf once. I didn't like it a lot.
He was Beowulf, Golden Man, and Dragon.
Okay, so he was a few roles.
Okay, cool.
So if he was Beowulf, then I guess I recognize his voice performance from that. Which I don't remember it being bad or anything. I don't remember it being good.
Oh, he was in too. The terrible King Arthur movie with Clive Owen.
Oh fuck yeah, that was fucking. Oh, what was he in that? Who did he play in that one? Was he Merlin or something? No, he wasn't Merlin.
He was one of the, he was
I'm
one of the
sorry, I
Nazis.
got the fucking guy's name wrong. It's John Hurt that we're talking about, not Ray Winstone.
Oh, okay.
Well, John Hurt's also a great actor too.
Well, John Hurt, yeah. I mean, John Hurt's.
I got his
yeah,
fucking name mixed up with the idiot below him on fucking IMDb, and I was like, oh yeah, that was him.
No.
I'm talking about John Hurt that was just like reduced to the fucking. He was the stupid fucking professor that couldn't talk, that they had to fucking shuffle around the whole movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Why would you get John Hurt for that fucking role? Why?
I mean, you're right. I mean, like, dude, he was Ollivander in the Harry Potter. He was Kane.
I mean, dude, he's John Hurt's been in a lot of dog shit.
He was Kane in Alien. He was John Merrick in the fucking Elephant Man, for Christ's sake. You don't get John Hurt to play the monosyllabic fucking brain damaged professor that can only babble incoherent sentences through the movie and has to literally be led around like an invalid. Like, that's just a waste.
John Hurt has been in a bunch of fucking a bunch of schlock.
Doctor Who. He was in the Hercules movie with The Rock. He was the evil king in that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, John Hurt does a lot of schlock. I mean, like, he's kind of like Ben Kingsley, where, like, yeah, he's a good actor, but, like, a lot of the stuff he does is just like, paycheck, please. I'll class up your otherwise fucking terrible movie with.
Well, he's
presence.
dead now, TJ, so he don't need a paycheck anymore. But.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Poor John Hurt.
I mean,
rest in peace.
Yeah, dude. He was a great actor. Yeah, you know, I mean, Ray Winstone's also a good actor, in my opinion, too. I mean, maybe not the level of John Hurt.
Let me see, who did he play in the fucking fucking in that movie? Was he the bad guy? Was he like the double crossing guy?
Who are you talking about? What movie?
The Ray Winstone guy, the guy that we were fucking stupidly retardedly talking about.
Oh, Ray Winstone. Yeah, he was Mac, the guy that fucking like stabs Indy in the back twice.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta say he was probably one of my favorite parts of that fucking movie. So I stand by what I said about him being a good actor.
Yeah. I do think he was wasted on that as well. I've seen him in a bunch of shit too. He's another, like, that's why it was such a big fuck up on me to label him the wrong way, because it could have gone either way. They're both great. They're both great character actors that are never leading men that always add more than they subtract to a film.
I mean, usually character actors are the best fucking actors, right?
Well, that's why I was so fucking devastated when fucking P.S. Hoffman died, because he was a character actor that broke into leading man status, but still managed to maintain that like character actor feel in every film.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Cate Blanchett I usually like and shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's really good in Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth, she's great in. I remember she did. It wasn't my favorite movie in the world, but I think she played. Didn't she play Bob Dylan at one point? I think
yes.
She did.
I'm Not There. Is that what it's called?
I think it's something like that. And she was really good in that. She was actually the best part of that fucking movie.
She was the best Bob Dylan.
I will go out on a limb and say that she was the only redeeming thing in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
The rest of that movie was shit. She was a pretty good villain.
The Dark World was probably that was the worst fucking Thor movie by far.
She did a great job as fucking Galadriel in the Lord of the Rings series. She had that very famous scene where Galadriel goes mad with the ring's power for a second.
I feel like the special effects there are a little bit awkward, but
they're very book descriptive. So that's probably why you feel that way.
Dude, I always love when Bilbo loses his shit. Dude, that's one of my favorite fucking scenes in the entire trilogy.
Dude, that's probably one of the most effective jump scares in a movie.
Because you never see it fucking coming.
Right. It freaks because it comes right the fuck out of the wild blue yonder. And it's just so, I mean, like the scene is so like pleasant and normal. And they're just like,
there's a scene that mirrors it in the book that is filled with Tolkien's like super descriptiveness. And it doesn't involve him turning into some evil creature for a second. But it's so descriptive, and it's like, how do you capture that on film? How do you capture the impact of it on film? Because in the book, you really feel Bilbo's struggle for 3 or 4 paragraphs worth of description of him struggling.
You can't do a jump scare in a book, you know. It's like,
I'm telling you, TJ, maybe, you know what? I think you should honestly read or at least do an audiobook of Lord of the Rings, and then maybe you'll have a better appreciation for it.
I honestly think that if TJ read The Hobbit, because The Hobbit is an easy one, dude. It is not even, you don't even have to fucking commit.
I read The Hobbit.
Okay. So then read the fucking Lord of the Rings then. Quit being a douche. Quit being a dick and read the goddamn books. Get it on audiobook.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the books, but I'm going to still hate the movies, but I'm now going to hate them from the perspective of, like, they disrespected Tolkien's work.
Well, whatever.
I'm going to become one of those
guys. That's at least a
instead.
respectable, snobbish position.
Yeah, at least I could have a conversation with you at this point about it, because when you talk about the fucking Lord of the Rings movies, I just want to strangle the fucking life out of you right now. After you've read the book, if you have an actual tact of, like, they didn't go far enough.
In order to strangle me, you must first go on a 3-film epic journey.
I'm willing. Yeah. I've got my faithful Sam by my side, dude. He'll carry me.
And then at the very end, don't worry. The Eagles will carry you away.
Scotty will be my Gollum. He'll come at the end to try and save you, but end up killing you. And then the Eagles will come swoop me up.
Scotty definitely is a Gollum-esque figure. Right, Scotty?
No, not me, TJ. You can trust me.
I see this, TJ? Scotty's more of a Smeagol, dude. He's more of a Smeagol than a Gollum. He's got a good heart. He's got a good heart, but he's corrupted a little bit,
Whenever people ask me, like, what character would you be in this movie or something, I'm always like, I'd be that fat dude eating at the burger place or something. Like, I would not be a main character. You're always like, I'm like this character. I'm like, no, you're not. You're like some extra that fucking didn't do shit, because that's what you are in the real world, too.
Dude, you can't deny it's kind of fun to, like, speculate about which one of these characters do you identify with the most.
All right, well, which character from Lord of the Rings do you identify with the most then, Paul?
Gandalf.
Gandalf, huh? Why is that?
Because he's wise.
Nah, dude.
I like how abrupt he is. I feel like I'm abrupt like Gandalf is. Gandalf don't put up with shit for very long. He's kind of like
Gandalf is kind of like he's not a.
Don't you see? I'm not saying I'm a fucking wizard, but don't you see kind of the parallel of Paul will put up with shit until a certain point, and then he's just like, fool of a took, down before me and bow before the staff's fucking power.
I gotta say this about Lord of the Rings. Well, first of all, I play up how much I dislike it to piss you guys off. But second
You're a piece of shit.
I know. Second of all, Ian McKellen in those movies, awesome. He's fucking beyond, he's fucking. I mean,
shall not pass.
And I'm growing this beard. Like this beard. I might not be a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but this beard is like 100% like I want Gandalf's beard. Like,
you know why Ian McKellen was so good? Because the Balrog was a fucking tennis ball.
We battled.
That's why he was. Dude, he was one of the best parts of this fucking Christopher Lee. Saruman, I loved him in the
We
movie.
battled from the bowels of the fortress to the peak of Khazad-dûm, where I smote his ruin on the mountainside. Dude, that alone, when I was a kid, I was like, fuck yeah! I knew exactly what that meant, dude. I knew what it meant to get your fucking ruin smoted on the mountainside, dude. He fucked that. He took him all the way to the top of the mountain, and then he just left him there. Beat his fucking ass and left him up there to fucking just be a reminder of Gandalf's fucking supremacy over the world.
That's a hell of a fight, dude. Like, you watch a movie like They Live, and it's like, man, that was a scrap right there. It's like, I mean, imagine just falling forever, then battling to the top of a mountain, then finally you fucking defeat your enemy. It's like, all right, I'm done. I beat his ass. We're fucking done with this shit, dude. Gandalf's just such an odd. And TJ, by the way, Gandalf would have fucking destroyed Spider-Man. Don't even fucking get me started on that shit again.
Dude, Spider-Man would fuck Gandalf up, dude.
Dude, Spider-Man wouldn't have a fucking chance.
Spider-Man takes that staff. First thing he does, right?
You think Gandalf is going to allow himself to be disarmed?
Oh yeah, he ain't going to see Spider-Man's web coming.
Dude, it took a Balrog of Morgoth to disarm him once, and he caught his fucking sword mid-fall and smote his fucking ruin on the mountainside with it. He caught the fucking staff and the sword after dropping it down a hole in mid fucking free fall. TJ, Spider-Man ain't got no fucking chance. Plus,
Spider-Man would fuck Gandalf up, boy.
if Gandalf's got his horse, it's over, dude. It's over. It's over. Shadowfax is there. If Shadowfax
is there, fuck, you're done, TJ.
You're done. Anything is done. Name me a fucking beast that's ever existed. Gandalf, except for Gorilla. I'm not doing it.
I did it before. You fucking.
I'm not doing it. I said except for Gorilla at the same time. There's a lag,
no,
TJ.
I said
There's
Gorilla
a lag.
First,
There's a lag.
I said Gorilla first.
There's a lag. There's a lag. There's a lag.
Gorilla versus Gandalf. Make it happen.
Gorilla versus Gandalf, too.
You know what you should do, Paul?
What?
I have a crazy monetization idea for you.
Yeah.
You should just start recording a bunch of like Gorilla versus scenarios. And like put them all on like a website somewhere and be like, unlock this story for fucking $100 or some shit. And they click it.
That sounds like a great. Wow. How am I not sitting on a pot of gold right now?
You should, man. I'll tell you what. Or you know what you could be like? You could fucking just do like a stream and be like, all right, I'll fucking do Gorilla versus any character you want, but it's fucking $50.
I'd probably get like $50 that night, TJ.
Paul, I guarantee you fucking make more than that. Just do it. Try it out.
I have my standards, TJ. I have my standards.
See what happens. My standard is make some money.
No, I just wonder who would win if it's a gorilla versus shadow gorilla, dude. Like, they have in the video games, you had to fight the dark gorilla or whatever.
Shadow gorilla and gorilla are one being. The shadow gorilla is inside of gorilla and part of gorilla. You can't. It would be like saying like who would win, Scotty or Scotty. You know what I mean? There's only one.
I mean, that's kind of the question there.
They're two halves of the same whole.
It's not gorilla technically taking a loss, but does the dark half of gorilla win out, or does the light half of gorilla win out?
That's the key to gorilla, is that the battle is the war between the dark half and the light half of gorilla never ceases. That's what drives the warlike nature of gorilla and makes him unbeatable. It's not the battle without that matters. It's the battle within.
I do believe you said, though, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe you said that gorilla can be defeated.
He can.
But you said, I think if I'm remembering, you said there's only 3 beings in this universe capable of defeating gorilla. Is that true, or is that?
I don't know if I think it was 2. I think there are 2 beings that have ever been posited in my mind that could defeat gorilla in battle, and none of them have ever been brought up. None of them have ever been brought up.
You're a man of your word. You said it was ever brought up that you would. Then
then we would see gorilla take his first L, of course.
I think it's gonna be a while, though. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever even gonna know who the fuck it is.
I don't even know if Paul's done a versus gorilla in a while. Anyway,
I mean, people. I'll do one, on the next ideology or something. But it's just like people know. It's like now they know that gorilla beats 99.9999% of the universe.
We just gotta tell them, look, maybe you guys can stumble upon an opponent that can give gorilla the L, but until that day comes, I mean,
there is that 0.00001% that could beat gorilla, but I mean,
that's only 2 possible choices, and that's a lot. That's a long list of names, and Paul's he's being cagey about it. He's not giving you any fucking hints. He's just saying that it's possible, but you're gonna have to figure out who it is.
It's improbable, is what it is. I've given thought to this.
Well, I already know the characters that could beat gorilla, so it's no fucking
who dat
fun for me.
Who dat? Name one of them, and I'll tell you how gorilla beats his ass right now.
Well, I don't want to fucking. I don't want to get into it.
Oh shit! Okay, why not, TJ?
Get into
put up or shut up.
What's that, Scotty?
Put up or shut up, TJ.
I mean, I just, I know Paul would have some kind of crazy rationale for how he could.
Rationale. It's a description. I close my eyes.
I already know.
I close my eyes and I see the battle unfold before me, and I describe what I see. I mean, that's.
He's already said, if you already know it, that legitimately, if you describe one of the 2 people or characters, I don't know, or whoever it is that can defeat gorilla, that Paul would give Gorilla an L. So if you really know it, then just say it, and you're here. And right now, you can make.
I don't
want
to spoil. I don't want to spoil people's fun. You know, I don't want to spoil people's fun.
I don't think you know it though. Oh, okay, so much ado about nothing then, TJ. Because I don't think you have a name.
I don't think I don't even think he has a name in mind. Because honestly, I don't think that
I have a name, but I feel like it's just like all right, well, I mean, I know it sounds implausible, but I think there's only one character I know of that could fucking possibly beat Gorilla. And,
let me guess, it's TJ.
No, I've made my peace with the fact that even as tough as I am, Gorilla could fucking destroy me in physical combat.
That wouldn't even be fun to describe. It would be over so quick.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it would. I think you're wrong about that. I think it'd be an epic battle that would.
No, it would be swift and brutal, and over.
If Gorilla was right there, TJ, it basically him just coming in, just like you'd just be dead. It'd be like one blow to you, and just be like,
he would reach out and snap your neck and just throw you over his shoulder, and that would be you.
Got it. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna ask Paul about it because he's just not. He's gonna fucking deny it. But I think that Scotty, I'm gonna text you the answer. I'm just gonna text you, and then it's up to you if you want to fucking. I mean, this is just. Don't fucking pay attention to what Paul says on this. This is canonical. Who can beat the fucking...
All right.
I am the font from which the canon cometh forth, TJ. I'm the gorilla speaker. It is only I that knows how all of these battles play out.
I feel like...
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, dude. I think this has been named before, though, but
I don't believe it has. But maybe it has. I don't know.
I'll throw it out there because I think it's interesting, but I don't think this is one of the names. But TJ has thrown up Paul, and let's see if you can describe this for us. And obviously, you don't have to spoil anything. He's put up the brave little toaster.
The brave little toaster, TJ. The brave little toaster. So here's what happens. Okay? Gorilla walks into the kitchen. He doesn't even notice the toaster on the counter yet because that's not what he's not at that step yet. He goes into the pantry, retrieves a loaf of bread, right? Opens the drawer, retrieves a butter knife, sets it down next to the loaf of bread, walks over to the pantry, opens the door, gets some butter out. And then he walks over to the brave little toaster with 2 slices of bread. Puts them in the brave little toaster and hits the little thing. The toast pops out, perfectly toasted, because the brave little toaster is scared like a little bitch that he is. He ain't going to do shit. He ain't going to burn that fucking gorilla's toast. Hell no. Gorilla puts some butter on the bread. Has himself a couple pieces of toast. Just then, ding, coffee goes off. Gorilla goes, gets himself a mug. Sits down, reads the morning newspaper, gets out his gorilla glasses. Brave little toaster sits there like a bitch, watching, shivering a little bit like he does in the cartoon, because he knows. And then the gorilla fucking gets done with his paper, shakes off the crumbs, brushes himself off, stands up, takes off his gorilla glasses, folds them up, puts them back in his gorilla glasses pocket, and then walks over to the brave little toaster and smashes it in one hit with his fist. Like, I don't know, like with no more vim or vigor than he buttered the toast.
Damn. Just smashes him into pieces.
And the brave little toaster is now a brave little disc of what used to be a toaster sitting in the fucking kitchen. And the gorilla picks it up and takes it outside and rears back and throws it like a frisbee right at the sun. And over the course of the next 4 days, the brave little toaster gets warmer and warmer. And then eventually careens into the corona of the sun and is burnt and reduced to its elemental and atomic properties. And we never hear the name Brave Little Toaster spoken ever again.
Wow.
Wasn't very brave, was he?
I feel like the brave little toaster could have done more, but
I feel like you're absolutely wrong.
I guess I was wrong.
I feel like he lasted way longer than he had any right to.
I mean, I think that was mainly due to the fact Gorilla just kind of wanted to have his coffee. He wanted to wake up a little bit. I mean, he knew the brave little toaster was there. He just was like, give me a fucking second here.
Needed a toast. Needed one last fucking round of toast from him, and then once he had that done, it was over.
Well, I'm sad now. I'm fucking sad now. This is why I didn't want to share. This is why I didn't want to share my feelings.
This is why people don't bring this up to me, because they bring me their heart's desire, and I tell them how it's ripped apart by the unbeatable elemental force that is Gorilla.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a mean guy, Paul.
I'm not mean. I'm just a truth teller. Truth tellers are always maligned in their time, TJ. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, people will realize the primacy of the primate. They will realize the solidity of the silverback. And they'll realize that I was the herald of something that we should have known from the very beginning. He's unbeatable. He's unstoppable. And we must negotiate with him if we want to save the planet. I mean, that's basically what I've been preaching, isn't it? It's only through him. He's got the power, TJ. He could grab the moon. Power. He could grab the moon, TJ, with his bare hands.
Let me ask you a question, Paul. Let me ask you a question.
What?
Is that a grease trap?
That's a grease trap. I think that's a grease trap.
Scotty, is that a grease trap?
Gentlemen. Yeah,
that's a grease trap, everybody. Thank you for watching. See you next time with more greasy, trappy goodness.
Big fat fry.